I think I finally figured out what my favorite size class is for Transformers. I've been trying to find out which one is my favorite for a while, and I thought it was Deluxe class, but no, I find I have a lot more fun with leaders than anything else. I've also gotten a bunch of leaders in the past few weeks, so that also has helped influence my decision a little bit. Leader class has changed significantly, and I think this size class of all the standards we still have, this is the one that's changed the most. Deluxes got smaller or bigger depending on which Deluxe you buy. Voyagers did the same, but in the end, their core, quote-unquote, what they are, stayed relatively the same. Leaders went from being big old toys that have complex transformations and lights and sounds to toys that scale well, but are beefy, with complex transformations. When I made this tweet, it was simply an observation, but people took it the wrong way because it's Twitter, but hey, the internet. It was just me pointing out the difference between the old and the new. That was all the purpose of the tweet was. I'm fine with new leaders. They gave up lights and sounds and stuff for like accuracy, and from a collecting standpoint, that's great. I actually have this cart built out on Pulse because I'm now making it my collecting journey to collect one of every movie leader class mold. So getting into today's subject of Leader Sentinel, of all the leader classes that I own, this one is my favorite for now. I have a sneaking suspicion that I will like Grindor a lot more because I thought Blackout was cool, but the lack of paint and the wrists were ultimately what led me to getting rid of it. Sentinel Prime here is big, like almost NPM big. It's a very chunky leader at the top. This is one of the biggest problems I have with the toy, is that it skipped leg day hard. They are extremely skinny, not to mention they have to be positioned in such a weird way so that it can hold the weight of the toy up because he is quite top and back heavy. The paintwork is okay. It's definitely a bit dated now. Like the silver is nice, but the distribution of that silver is not the greatest. The back though is probably the biggest problem. It makes him super back heavy and there's all these panels hanging off. I think they are neat in that you can like pose them in different ways to look like a flowing cape, because I just think that idea is cool. But there's a lot of panels on the back that do weigh the toy down quite a bit. The chest on mine also has an issue where the left boob doesn't tab in, and that part really annoys me for some reason. Like just stay in place, but no, there's always these little gaps. I've tried several times and it just won't tab in, so that's a pain. But like I said though, he has lights and sounds. They work and they are glorious. The face sculpt here isn't great either when compared to like the Studio Series one. It's a lot like the Voyager from 2011 in that regards, but hey, the eyes light up, so 10 out of 10. I don't know if that's like a concept head thing that they use for both of those toys, because it's very different from what we actually saw on screen. He does come with his double sword that's comically undersized, and a shield that explodes because mech tech, but the shield looks really cool. I love the shaping of it. The overall shape of the shield is accurate to a point, but the shield itself isn't super accurate. Like, it's hard to explain, but I don't mind. I also just realized that when you put something in this port, it makes noise, so there's that. That scared the shit out of me when I plugged this cannon into it. The robot is a mixed bag. As a leader class person, I love it, but as someone who wants a good official Sentinel Prime to go with the rest of your movie toys, get the Studio Series one. It looks a lot better. Like that big oversized KO I did a review of a while back. That thing's cool, but my copy has not withstood the test of time, so I can't recommend it anymore. Like, it for $18 or something, it needs to stay together. That's why you don't see it in videos, is because it just doesn't like being a robot anymore. It just falls over all the time. Articulation's actually really good. Like, the arms are normal and the head like rotates and stuff, but like the range in the legs and this double ankle pivots, I was so surprised, and I'm so welcoming to that stuff. The foot articulation is a nice addition. It helps elevate the toy. It's posing quite well. However, mine are a little loose. My ratchets are a little loose, so he likes to fall over. But I haven't done this in a while. Take a listen to the ratchet joints. Transformation is a bit of a pain, but like every Sentinel seems to be a bit of a pain. This one is also kinda a shell former. It's a lot of shell panels and things that need to be lined up correctly in order to peg everything in place. But like the legs do this really interesting thing of unfolding, and then you tuck the arms in and then the legs just kind of fold back around it. It's really neat. I really like the way that that works. And the weapon storage is really nice as well. Trying to figure out this transformation for the first time though was a bit of a pain. It took me about 15 minutes, but I was also like half trying to remove a fridge out of a wall, so there was that. But it's a really interesting transformation, especially in the back end. The front can be a little complicated when trying to line everything up to tab the windows in for the final like step of that portion, but the back is actually really fun and intuitive. Fire truck mode is awesome. I always love this type of alt mode, and this one here, it's no exception. The truck turned out super well. The head's just hanging out at the front there, and you can't really poof because of the way that that's sculpted, so that's really unfortunate, 0 out of 10. But it's such a great truck. The chest isn't fake either. The truck windows on this chest do become the actual truck parts, which in robot mode makes it look way too big. So like a fake chest would have been nice for accuracy points, but I love the engineering steps they took to make that work. It was really cool to see. The truck has a movable hose and it has got a lot of range. Mine unfortunately is a little loose because age, but it's still neat. And for this size, like the knockoff was cool, but it was way too big for me. This one is actually quite a nice size. It's also very dense. The knockoff you aren't seeing in alt mode because it refuses to stay in, but this one feels really stable and sturdy, and that's something I love about it. You can give it a squeeze and it won't come to bits, which some leaders today have trouble with. Granted, Galvatron is super solid and so are the Power of the Primes leaders. I'm super happy with this, not just for being cool, but for also helping me answer the question of what my favorite size class in Transformers is. Let me know which one's yours is, by the way, because I'm very curious. Is it Deluxe? Is it Voyager, Legends, Ultimate, Supreme, Commander, etc.? You can bring in old ones, you can bring in new ones. Who cares? I'd love to see what everyone's favorite size class is, because I'm going to definitely go down this road of buying one of every leader mold from the movies, and you are going to join me because, you know, you watch these videos. But is this toy for everyone? I mean, like, I know a lot of people, especially a lot of newer fans, love the accuracy standpoint of the current mainline stuff, like Generations and Studio Series. They are really good at making accurate looking toys. Well, when they can. Like in the case of Dino, for example, he couldn't be made accurate because of Ferrari licensing, and Ferrari's big dumb when it comes to licensing. But a lot of people love that accuracy standpoint. And if you are collecting solely based on accuracy, then this is probably not for you. It's too big, it's too clunky, it doesn't look perfect when it comes to the rest of Studio Series. If you have a Studio Series collection, I'd say just try and find Sentinel for a decent price, like the Voyager, not this one. But if you have a collection of either old toys, you just buy whatever, like me, or you want something really cool, I'd definitely say pick this up. As it, like, if you want something good for a reasonable price, it's always there. This guy goes for about 30 to 50 bucks Canadian, so I definitely recommend it. I grabbed mine for 40 on eBay, so it's not super hard to find for a good price, and it's a solid figure. It has some issues, but like the feet issue I talked about earlier can be fixed. The like loose joint issues, they can all be fixed because they're all screws, so it's really cool. But that's been my look at Dark of the Moon Leader Class Sentinel Prime. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.